So in that one, I started with my minor pentatonic, used a little bit of the major pentatonic, and then pretty quickly switched into the G mixolydian mode, which is G to G in the key of C. You probably already know that mode, but just to refresh. Just like a G major scale, but with a flat 7, the F natural, which lands really nicely in the G7 chord. So the thing that I was talking about in the overview section was that I like to make my scales go this way. I like to make my pentatonics, my minors, my majors, and my mixolydian mode really take in the entire range of the guitar. Because what that does for me is instead of just being able to go typical blues lick in G minor, I can take it up the neck. In other words, I'm not bound to that third position. I like to say, you know, how many times have you gone into a club and see a guy playing the blues in one position on the top 3 strings the whole night? You know what I mean? So what I try to do is break out of those things. So here's what I just did right now, this kind of a lick. Very simple. And then slide up to the 6th position, and then slide up to the 8th position, maybe. And one thing I can say about that is that you need to learn to take your hand completely off the neck and move to a new position. It doesn't all have to interconnect with slides and bends. It can actually, real melodic playing can actually separate a bit. So check this out. Here is an example of me playing the key of G7, which is G mixolydian, from the lowest note to the highest note. I ran out of fingers right about here, and I took my hand completely off and jumped to a new position. And that's the kind of stuff I do when I'm playing these kind of lines. In other words, they don't have to just all connect. The line can jump from position to position. Here's a lick I played in G mixolydian. I slid a half step into the 3rd. And you can hear like a melodic emphasis there. And then from that down a 5th, up a half step, and then up a major 6th, or a minor 6th. Down a whole step. And then something I like to do that I probably picked up from Jeff Beck many years ago, I like to bend the note 1/2 step below the pitch I'm looking for. So here's a D, so I'll go. Try to get that little bit of a extra expression there by pulling up to a note and then playing the actual note. I think I do it all the time. Just a little bit more expression you can add into your playing that just is makes it more interesting than just running up and down scales. Another thing I used in that solo was just a little motif. You know, if you repeat something a few times that's melodic, it becomes a little anchor in the solo, a little hook in the solo, especially a 1 minute long solo like I just played. So I know that it's just something I always do. I play with my little finger, my pinky, a B flat and a D, and pull. And once again, intervals are a big part of my life. You know, I play that little 3rd, and there's a minor 6 or a major 6 interval right there. And I'm noticing I'm using my right hand. I'm using some hybrid picking there to make that jump. My 3rd finger, my ring finger, is the one that hits that high G. Motifs are very important, especially on a long one chord solo.